I came out with, I think I moved $10 to 1.6 USD. That's how I
When
came
you were
out.
starting.
No, that's how I got really famous. That's what put me on Instagram, and everybody was realizing there's Stacey in the market. I took $10
Oh
to
yeah.
1.6 USD in one day, in one trade, right? That trade, what people don't understand is that that trade is it's one of the trades which will change your life or your year. Thank you.
So if you guys are joining the live, I really appreciate it. You guys are watching episode 6 of my journey, and I'm not alone, guys. I'm with Stacey Pigmentation. Your real name is Anastasia, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll stick with Stacey.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what you prefer.
Well, I
Yeah.
prefer Stacey
So
because, well, it's half of my name. It's Anastasia. So we took the Stacey inside Anastasia and put it there. Then we added pigmentation to it. I'm sorry, I'm taking over the show. We added
oh yeah,
pigmentation to
man.
it to it because now, well, when I was born, I was really dark, and people would make me aware that, you know what, you're so dark. They'll just put it on my face that you're
Yeah,
very dark. Like it was like being dark is a crime. So when I learned that
yeah,
pigment means color, so I started calling
yeah,
myself Stacey Pigmentation.
yeah. That's great. I like that you're embracing your skin color. And yeah, the reason why I wanted to interview you, and I feel like this was the best time to interview you, is because this is the month of Women's Month, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's no better time than now to get a female trader to share her story. And yeah, man, another reason I do these interviews is because we see like our favorite traders on Instagram, but we never really know what their story is like. So my interviews, I break them down into halves where you share your story and how you made it in this journey, and then we can talk about market related things, you know?
Okay. Whew.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, don't worry, it's basic. Yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, I want to know, and this is how I start all my interviews. Where you from? Who are you? You know, it doesn't have to be Forex related. Just tell us more about yourself.
Okay. I'm Stacy. I was born in Mamelodi, but raised in Atteridgeville because of parents. You know how parents have differences. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can hear you.
Okay. And now I live in Atteridgeville, but hey,
Okay.
I lived in Denville once in my life, and yeah, I'll talk about that story when we move on because it's part of my trading journey why I moved to Denville and back to Atteridgeville. I'm just a girl who goes to church. I don't drink alcohol. I don't go out much. I don't party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're very grounded.
Um, I, I, I feel like, yeah, I'm very grounded, and church has kept me in this department of me being quiet and not all over the place. And what else can I say about myself? I'm very talkative, inquisitive at times, but yeah,
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 yeah, man. Yeah, that's amazing, and I guess it's all part of learning, being inquisitive. You know.
yeah.
So, um, when did you find out about Forex? When did you decide to wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna get into the financial market and I'm gonna get into Forex? How did that come about in your life?
It's funny. I had quit my job because I studied HR and I majored in labor relations. And after that, I
Okay.
had to work. I remember I was working at TNC at the head office that's in Pretoria CBD town. And when I was there,
Okay.
this is where my journey started. When I was there, well, I had to like solve cases of people who are older than me. So you can imagine if somebody's older than you and they
Yeah.
tell you, I have a baby, I have a woman, a wife, and then if you take this job away from me, I'm going to lose everything, and I still got kids I have to go to school. So I had to solve a whole lot of difficult cases, and I was young. At a young age, how do you tell somebody who's over 40 and working and still says, I got kids at home? How do you dismiss that person? So that wasn't a good run for me. Hence, I left the job, and then I started working in a club. Guys, I was getting a stable salary, and I went to work at a club from, when they say from beggar to spark, beggar to kota.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I worked at a club called Muloko. It was a very nice
Right.
place, but not for me. For me, it was that am mostly sober, and it's very dark. There's a lot
Yeah.
of men. They're asking you out. They're promising you heaven and earth, but I didn't want heaven and earth.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what's money, right? That's where I met
Oh.
Cash for Ngobo. I bet he doesn't remember this. That's where I met Cash for Ngobo. I think it was back in 2015, 16. And I sat
Yeah.
with him down, and he was with Lutando Charles. I still remember them clearly. I sat with them down, and I told them that, Mina, I'm not this kind of girl whereby a man is going to come and buy me alcohol, try to take me out,
Yeah.
try to buy me Brazilian and iPhone. I'm not about that. I want to know how to make money. And then that's when he mentioned, hey, I'm a Forex
Wonderful.
trader. And that's when
Yeah.
my journey started
So,
in a club.
oh, so you met Cashflow Ngabo in the club? Were they owning the club, or were they just there?
They came to club. Funny the way they came to club, they were popping bottles, they were having fun. But I had to, greet him. I didn't know who he was. Back then, I didn't know what trading
Oh,
was. And then that's when he explained what he did. And I was like, interesting. Then after meeting Cash but that's when I saw billboards of Sandy Leshes. He was the big thing. By that time, he was a big
whoa, that's
thing.
crazy.
And then that's when I learned about DJ Coach. Now, those were the people who they were all over the market. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man, it's extremely crazy how you decided to work in a club and then not knowing that you'd bump into someone who'd tell you about forex.
Forex.
No one really goes into the club talking about forex. I
Yeah,
mean, no one does that, but it's amazing.
yeah.
So from there, how did you get into like trading and opening your first account? Because I'm sure you knew about it. How long did it take for you to start actually putting your head down and start getting into the trading?
I started almost immediately because I quit my job and I went on a research, right? On my research, I met a
Okay.
lot of traders. I met a lot of big people. Okay, they were not as big then, but they were big people. And when
Yeah.
I met those people, I didn't know that I was gonna, one day know how to trade. I remember I was
Yeah.
chasing people to teach me how to trade. Like, how do you do it? And people would literally ask
Yeah.
me out rather than teach me, right? Because I'm a girl. What
Oh
is
yeah.
a girl doing in the forex industry? That was the words
Be-
they asked me. What is a girl doing? Like, they'll tell you that I wouldn't date a girl who trades. They don't have feelings. I wouldn't understand what they were saying, but as I started um
Yeah.
trading, then I understood. So it came down to me opening my first account, not knowing what's happening, teaching myself how to use
Yeah.
MT4 without even realizing what's happening. MT5 was there, but I couldn't
Yeah.
use MT5 because it was difficult for me. I'm trying to learn MT4, there's MT5. I'm trying to learn what is trend line, what is support and resistance.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn what is 1 minute strategy, you know?
Oh.
I'm trying
Oh
to learn
yeah.
all these stuff. I'm trying to learn breakout strategy. I'm trying to learn everything, at the same time. It took me
Yeah.
3 years to get it right. You can imagine I
Oh,
lost,
so I'm assuming.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. You can go on.
I lost my first 1.5. It was 100 USD. It was 1,500. I lost it in bits. This is what happened. I opened a trade and it started off as a red. And when I read instructions, when the trade is going your way, it has to go to the blues. But my trade was never getting into the
Mm.
blues. So I would open when it doesn't go to the blues for the next coming 5 minutes, I close. You lose your account
Ish.
in it's a bit because now you don't know what's happening. You just know how to open a buy and a sell. I remember I bought signals
Yeah,
even. I got into a signal group. They wrote buy, they were like buy GBP at
yeah,
this price. I didn't look at what price and I bought GBP. It blew me.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I hear that. So I'm assuming you started in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and you said you kept blowing for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So during those 3 years, how important was mentorship for you? Did you get any sort of mentorship? Because most people nowadays, it's easy for them to go onto YouTube and
Yeah.
think that's mentorship. It's just lessons, you know. So did you have any mentors during your journey?
In my journey, I'm an actor by profession, guys. By profession, I'm an actor, actress. Let me call it
Oh,
actress.
okay.
And from my
Mm,
acting skills, well, I've met up with the guy called Babalo. He's at Paps FX. If you search for him on Instagram, most of the time when I'm being tagged, he's also being tagged. If it's people that know us,
okay.
I met him. I think
Yeah.
it was a year later of me trying to figure out what is RSI, uh, what are moving averages. Those things didn't work for me because I've tried that for a long time. I
Yeah.
tried systems and they didn't work, right? And
Yeah.
after that, well, I met Babalo. Then with Babalo, we used moving averages, went on a research. He always came with information that we could read. And we were doing this at church. I remember
Yeah.
I left my normal church that I went to all these years to his church. Why? Because then, well, that's where I found information. That's where I found everything. We had an office at church whereby every day in the morning would go there. I remember there was one time I didn't even have money for me to just board on a taxi and go to church to go learn. I walked to church. Some of the days we didn't have food.
Yeah.
We had to bring food from our houses just to go there, put information together. Hey, it was quite a journey. If he's here, hi Babalo. He did most
Yeah.
of the downloading of books,
Mentorship.
downloading of books, right? And then we read.
Yeah.
He showed us some of the things he knew, and it was just a group
Yeah.
of people who doing one thing. We were actually forming a hedge fund, and that's my dream. I want to have a hedge fund, right? We were forming a hedge fund,
Definitely.
right? Yeah. So in all
Yeah.
of that, everybody had a role. He had this role, I had that role, that one had that role. I remember there was one who was trading on IQ options. I was trading on Forex. He was trading on Forex. The other one was trading somewhere else because we're trying to put in this information together. And it took long, it took like
Yeah.
2 years.
Oh, so I'm understanding that you guys were a group of church goers, and you guys had also you had other intentions of making a living for
Mm-hmm.
yourselves, and what
Yeah.
are some of the challenges you had during your journey? Because I can imagine it's never easy learning on your own, and PDFs is a lot of unnecessary information.
Information. Yeah.
They teach you about things you don't even need in the market. What were some of your challenges?
Some of the challenges we had is that the right information that we had, we took it for granted. Like
Mm,
um, price action, candlesticks. The importance of candlesticks made sense actually this year. I started making money last year, but this year, the importance of candlesticks,
yeah,
that's when now they really hit a nail, right? Um,
yeah,
it was difficult for us to actually fund an account. And I remember Pablo was
yeah,
actually designing um, logos and posters and websites for people. And after designing, you can imagine he makes money, then he comes back, brings it in the company, we blow the money, then he has to go make other logos, posters. When I get money at
yeah,
home, I'll go blow it. And trading is very
yeah,
addictive. If there's something you don't know, trading is very addictive. And the minute you get
yeah.
hooked, if you don't have money, you feel like dying, you feel like asking you for you feel like killing yourself.
Yeah, I
So
know
some
that
of the
feeling, man.
challenges were us not having money to fund an account. And then when you're learning and you're reading, you're like, but I'm reading, but I don't have money to trade. Where am I gonna have money to trade? I think most of the time we were stressed rather than focusing on having to learn.
Yeah. So I hear what you're raising is very important. How does one go around getting funds? Like what are the things, because in South Africa it's difficult getting a job. If you go to the hood, guys are asking for 10 rand, like old men, like 30-year-old men. Like,
Yeah.
how does one get funds?
Yeah, and people who have made it, they tell you it's simple, but truly it's not. If somebody tells you it's simple, they don't want to help you. It's not simple, right? For me, well,
Yeah,
now I can say, whoa, I didn't see these things and they were very simple, but I can't say it was simple. Most of the time, if you want to get money, guys, you take in odd jobs like having to babysit people in your house. There's that aunt who has a child, babysit that child.
yeah.
There's 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 um there's our friend who started a business of um washing, there's these beans, the beans that we have,
Oh yeah,
the big ones. He has started that
yeah,
business in order for him to make a living and also have money to fund an account. There's somebody started a car wash to
yeah,
make a living, fund an account. And you find people in my inbox asking for money for me to fund, and I'm like, you know what? There's somebody who's actually getting 150 rands just to fund an account better. That's why at the moment I'm very strong. Why? Because I wanted to better the skill. So from doing all these odd
yeah,
jobs, I had to fund in small money for me to grow it to become big.
yeah.
So for me, trading was
Um,
never about having big money and growing it. It was about having small money to make it big money. Mm.
yeah. I like that, yeah, that you're talking about smaller accounts and small money, because that leads up to the next question.
Yeah.
And I see you're good at growing small accounts. And how does your trading plan look like? Because it's not really easy growing a small account. And I see you trade VIX now most of the time.
Yeah.
Is that your major?
I was trading currency pairs all this time. Somebody just reminded me in
Yeah.
my journey also we have Babalo, right? Babalo blew 15K in a minute using a robot. In just 2 minutes, a robot opened and messed him up. And with us losing all this
Take,
money, he had to take in a job. He had to work at ABSA, a bank. And then while he was
yeah,
working, when success hits, right? There's people who are going to backslide.
yeah.
And then there's people who are going to come do the thing. So most of the people we were forming a hedge fund with, a company with, they backslided. And only 3 people were left in the company,
Which was you included, right?
including Babalo
That's
and the
what I'm
other
assuming.
one. Yeah. So
And
you
the,
you, you
yeah,
asked me a question about my trading plan. My trading plan looks like
yeah,
this, right? There's specific structures that work in the market. And then the
okay,
structures that are there just to confuse us retail traders, right? What do I
yeah,
mean by that? The structures that are meant to confuse us so that you buy and it sells really hard,
mm,
right?
yeah,
So on my trading plan, I'm saying do not believe your eyes, but um believe your structure. Do not trust your
yeah,
emotions, but trust the structure. Why? Because now when a
mm,
structure is formed, right? If you follow the rules that are inside that structure, I'm telling you, making a loss won't be as easy. You would be making a loss because you over
yeah.
leveraged, right? And at
Oh
some
yeah,
point,
true.
you'll find that you're trading inside of a consolidation. So, with my kind of trading, consolidation is where we see decisions that are being made. So, if a decision is being made inside of a consolidation, that means you have to wait for the decisions to be done. It's almost like we are waiting for NFP to have news out so that we can trade.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
to
So,
wait for the big move.
yes. So for me, we trade the momentum rather than waiting inside of a consolidation, blowing before it goes the right direction. Like that's really not fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mostly trade impulsive moves,
Yes,
if
yes.
we simplified for those who aren't familiar with the big words for now,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we're all learning. you know,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all getting inspired and at different levels with our trading.
Yes.
So I really like that. Um, you know, there's something unique about your trading and you know, and that's why I also asked to interview you. And I want to find out like a small account. Now I've seen you grow a small account. I saw the $25 account, and that's equivalent to 350, right? Roughly. And yeah, man, how do you do it, man? It's just fascinating, like, because not many people can handle small accounts. Like, how do you approach a small account?
It started off as we didn't have money to trade. So the only thing we had was to fund a small account. In that smaller account, you
Mm,
needed to survive, right?
mm,
So surviving means
yeah,
every small account that you have, you open one trade just to see if you've got your entries right. And if they're not right, when you are
mm,
at the toilet trying to pee and then you pick on your account, you are praying to God, God, please, can my account not blow? Please, please. And then you close it. It's
yeah,
like almost like opening a trade and then you're like, I don't want to see where it goes. And then you go back and pick and
yeah.
you find it blown. So that's where it started. It started off as I don't have money. So in me not having money, what can I do with 350 that can get me money? That means I need to wait for a perfect structure that's going to work for me.
Say that.
Yeah. So with assets that I came out with, I think I moved $10 to 1.6 USD. That's how I
When
came
you were
out.
starting,
No, that's how I got really famous. That's what put me on Instagram and everybody was realizing there's Stacey in the market. I took $10
oh
to
yeah,
1.6 USD in one day, in one trade, right? That trade, what people don't understand is that that trade is it's one of the trades which will change your life or your year, right?
and it will shift your mindset as
Your
a trader.
mindset altogether. You see the market differently because when you open the market, you are looking for whatever that you have entered. See, what people don't know is that they forget the kind of structures that they're trading,
Yeah,
right? When they forget the kind of structures that they're trading, they want to trade everything that happens in the market, in which you have to wait for
yes,
that structure to just present itself. If you're saying that you are trading a
yeah,
head and shoulder, let the head and shoulder be complete and let it be on the neckline or on the armpit. That's where you know the market is going
yeah.
to move, and that's where you're going to look for an entry. That will change your life altogether. If you have to wait for 2 weeks and not make money, wait for 2 weeks and not make money. But the day you get that entry, it changes everything altogether.